Collaboration amid fragmentation has been the theme at this year's World Economic Forum. And while we've seen a big Ukrainian presence here in Davos, Switzerland, the war in Ukraine is a big part of that conversation on fragmentation. And earlier, I had a chance to speak with Olga Feldmeier. She's the co-founder and executive board chairman at Valor. And I asked her about her work advocating for the country from which she grew up.
It became to everybody very clear that Ukraine is not just fighting for its freedom, it's fighting for the whole Western freedom. And my mission here is to communicate that. And, I run events, I organize different charities, and we donate money to UNICEF to help children in Ukraine. And I think especially with our technology, there are a lot of ways how we can make it happen. For example, there are artists that are just trying to sell their art to donate for Ukraine. And if we are helping to advise them on technology, how they can use NFT technology to collect more money and, help Ukraine even more.
Some people would criticize at the WEF that there are a lot of words being spoken, but little action. What would you say about that?
That's true. There are more words than action. And a lot of people struggle. They don't even know how to do it, regular people, right? But I think, every little help, just like on Christmas, going into the grocery shop, buying food. In Germany, you can sell this for free. German Post is paying for your sending anything to Ukraine, right? And there are so many ways to do something. People just need to do it.
Do you think that applies to the crypto industry as well?
I'm afraid so, yes.
In what ways?
I don't want to be critical, but I think a lot of people were talking about how to help in March, when the war started. And now this topic fall back a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. There are still very active communities, but I think for 90% of crypto people, this topic is not really on the surface.
Let's talk about Valor. What's on the agenda for the year?
For the year, well, first of all, we are the only one European digital asset exchange listed on NASDAQ. So, of course, the goal number one is to keep the NASDAQ listing, as you maybe know.
So I've been told by critics that it's not a NASDAQ listed company, but it's NASDAQ First North.
Yeah, it's European subsidiary of NASDAQ. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the rule book is very similar to NASDAQ US. It's not yet NASDAQ US, it's NASDAQ European subsidiary, but it's also NASDAQ. So I think, the difficulty was because of a lot of auditing companies did some special arrangements with exchanges, and they got scared away, by what happened with FTX. So a lot of auditors are withdrawing, and for us as a NASDAQ listed company, one of the requirements is audited financial statements. And we had quite a struggle to engage auditor who is ready to audit a digital asset company. But if you don't get this done, your listing might be in question, But we finally found an auditor, and just to keep the status and cope with all the requirements, that's quite a challenge.
I saw in 2019 there was a warning issued against Valor for listing on the website that they're a Liechtenstein licensed exchange, but at the time it was not approved. Has that been
It's a little bit different. In our vision was to acquire a banking license, and we put it in the roadmap that we will apply for the banking license, but you're not allowed to mention this on the website, not even plans.
Right.
So for mentioning that we would like to apply for banking license, this was the reason,
Has the banking license been acquired? Are you feeling a chilling
we decided
effect
not to go for it because it's just additional burden. We were the first exchange to get authorized in Liechtenstein for custodian and exchange activity.
Are you
so
feeling
we still made it.
Is there a chilling effect from regulators on crypto in Europe? Is that a sentiment you're feeling?
We don't feel it yet, and I think, because we play by the rule, we do the full KYC, AML, we are the authorized exchange in Liechtenstein, one of the first. So we do everything that regulator requires. So until now, there was nothing, there was request, are you involved with FTX and so on. I cannot give you too many details on this. We just said we have no involvement and no connection to FTX, and this is it.
Another big theme here at the WEF is CBDCs as well as stablecoins, and I understand that Valor was interested in creating a Swiss franc digital stablecoin. Any progress on that? I believe you announced that in 2018.
Yes, exactly. And back then it was too early, It was a completely different environment where the negative interest rate would, you would just need to pay central bank so much money every month. And I think now the situation is completely different. If you look at who is making money today in crypto, this is pretty much only the stable coin providers, right? With this, inflation that we see now.
Is there any hope to produce a digital franc as you announced?
Well, we did not announce yet. There are different plans being discussed at the company, but nothing that is public yet.
And when you initially started, you issued the Smart Valor token worth about 1 franc. Now it's worth about 21 cents. I mean, it must be tough for investors during crypto winter. What do you say to them during this time?
Well, we don't comment on prices, neither shares nor tokens. That's just not what I'm entitled to do. But I think for all of us, crypto winter is tough. The prices are down. I suffer myself personally on my personal wealth side from all these effects. But I also know that this is a temporary situation, and the markets are gonna be back. We're building, sustainable business with Smart Valor. We have retail, and we integrate with banks. We give banks opportunity to give crypto to their customers. This is such a big market, and it's just getting started.
All right. And meanwhile, you've also been talking a lot about proof of reserves.
Exactly.
So where do you see that happening? I mean, with the fall of FTX, Binance is talking about proof of reserves, but there's no clear standards.
Absolutely, that's a problem. And the other problem is that it's only partial picture, right? With proof of reserves, you show only the crypto side of the business. But as an exchange, you also have fiat currencies, right? And this is not reflected anywhere. That's number one. Number two, like all the other, intra-company flows, liabilities, right? What if you give a loan or you have everything that is not on chain? This is not reflected, right? And I think this is actually really now call to action for a lot of companies to go the extra mile. We did the extra mile by becoming a NASDAQ First North listed company, right? Because we are subject to NASDAQ rulebook, which is a very comprehensive set of requirements with audited financial statements, governance requirements, independent board. You're subject to market manipulation, regulation, and so on. And a lot of people think it's very hard and it's very expensive. Well, it's definitely more expensive on the NASDAQ US, but on NASDAQ Europe, this is much, much cheaper than listing on pretty much any Asian exchange, let's put it this way, right? And you put yourself out of your free will under these huge requirements and show to your customers and your partners that you play by the rule. So I would encourage a lot of companies to look into really listing on NASDAQ, if not NASDAQ US, then at least NASDAQ Europe.